I've been running alongside Dave for years, and I was adamant that he was going to take over as best friend, that I even drove his ginger ass to the train station and made sure he got on it. This is my third time being in front of people like this. I've done it as a groom 2 years ago, and last year as best man to another good friend. And I find myself here again. The best man isn't all it's cracked up to be. You'll get the same nerves as the groom, only there's no one in posh knickers at the end of it. This situation is one of the most nerve-wracking things you can do. I always feel that I won't be funny, and bits that I find funny, you may not. I want to be sincere and gracious, but the words I want to say won't get confused and leaving people with the same expression on faces like the ones I'm getting off you all right now. And in my opinion, I'm not the best at writing speeches. That you just must maybe. I like the confidence. I like the confidence, and I thought that I'd get some inspiration from the internet. After a couple of hours, I did find some really exciting material. But I remembered I was supposed to be writing this speech. I can't do a fancy dance routine because the groom had the excellent idea of wanting tweed. I had an idea that we were going to make room and I was going to go backflips and cartwheels. But then he had also an excellent idea that he was going to put me in a slim fit. I haven't got the singing voice either, and I don't want the windows and smashing in this beautiful building. But I have found out, surprisingly, with a really good hook and a bass line, I'm a pretty decent rapper. When I say Steve, you say Rachel. Steve! Rachel! Steve! Rachel! Yeah. Steve! Rachel! Steve! Rachel! As if, can you imagine? I thought I'd give writing a speech and it'll go. Like I say, third time's a charm. So my name is Lee, but most may know me as Fisher. I need to give a speech about Steve, but what can I say about the man that always at being the topic of the Gemini Carl show? I'm Steve's best man number 2. At first I felt bad that I was sharing this role, but then I thought about all the other guys in the party that aren't best man. As nice as it is to listen to Dave and Steve, as nice as it listen about the Dave and Steve show narrated by Dave, I'm the breath of fresh air in a country lane, but sometimes there's always a slight smell of muck spreading. And just like this speech, you're going to try and get away from it, but I'm going to be around for a good 5 or 10 minutes. I haven't got the story of how we met, me and Steve, through the theatre arts, or from school or football, but I know we met by going out drinking in a bar like a normal heterosexual. I've had loads of laughs with Steve over the years and loads of stories. I remember when we used to pin tea towels around our necks and play Batman and Robin. I used to go out with a towel flying behind us. We didn't always used to see eye to eye. While trying to battle the dark forces, we'd argue and say that he was Batman, and I'd say that he was too weak to be Batman, and then he'd end up saying that I was stupid, and then end up just going running on to his mum's. But then the very next day, without fail, sure enough, he'd send me a text from work and everything would be okay. We both have the same interest, which is fitting, spent many a time talking about wrestling, music, beer, gin, and obviously comic-related things. I thought it would be good with the music we'd like and try to relate it to the wedding for this occasion. I know he likes Limp Bizkit, but the song Break Stuff seemed a bit OTT for the occasion. I know another band he loves is Bowling for Soup. They have a song called The Bitch Song. Now the lyrics are pretty funny, but with a title like that I'm not going to use it for a wedding day. And then it hit me. Blondie's I Touch Myself. The lyrics go, when I think about you, I touch myself, which is true. Because most of the time, my tempo because you were giving me a migraine. Now, Dave came out from here, as Steve throughout this whole process is known as Groomzilla. Steve says he's not, but it kind of gives you the idea of how demanding he is, that he's got 2 best men, not 1. And a man so interesting, he's not got 1 speech about him, but 2. With Rachel agreeing to marry Steve, he's reinforced what I've always thought about and lived by, that stalking, harassment, adrenaline, pleasantness, and will eventually pay off. On behalf of the wedding party and myself, and me and Dave, sorry, supposed to edit that, but can't remember. On behalf of me and Dave, I'd like to thank Steve and Rachel for asking us to be involved in one of the most important days of our lives. And I know you put a tremendous amount of time and effort into planning this wedding, and I can only hope that it will have exceeded your expectations. I'd like to say thank you to the bridesmaids, maid of honour. They all look stunning, and today I compliment Rachel for all the hard work she's put into making this of what you all see. And the groomsmen, it's an honour to be sharing this role with you. You mean a lot. You mean to him by your being here and you accepting showing that you've always got his back. The venue is lovely and the food has been excellent, even though we ain't had dessert yet, but I'm guessing it's going to be alright. It's also everyone else that makes a day like this special. The day and the theme makes the event shine, but the people they are surrounded by make the memories last longer, and it makes it all worth the while. I'm happy to be a part of this small army that you call a wedding party. It's about now we're supposed to tell stories about the stag and the terrible things that we did when we went to Dublin. But to be honest, it was all pretty boring. There's not a lot you can do locked in an 8x4 prison cell. For those that want to know how we got there, the trial is 3 weeks on Monday. I've been married for 2 years. I've been married 2 years next week, and it's a custom to give advice for the future plans. You want to stand your ground and fight arguments, but you know at the end of the day, you've got a mortgage and you've got kids. You can't go back to your parents' house because as soon as you moved out, they decorated your bedroom anyway. Then you realise if you did have actually put the bin out when you were supposed to have done, then you could have just been avoided anyway. You agree to things that you don't need, like a new fridge for instance. She says you need it, and because she likes sex, she'll agree. When I know that it's tried and tested, if you come home from work and she's eating ice cream out of the carton, don't ask her how she's doing. Katie is my drug. She costs too much and she'll ruin my life. But I will do it a million times over. There will be ups and downs to any marriage, but just look at her now, Steve, on this day. This is why it's worth it. You may have lost some memories up till now, and more will be coming, I promise. With weddings, there's always talks about I'm losing a daughter, but gaining a son-in-law. My sympathy to Tim, the father of the bride. I spent countless hours with this guy, and I know who's getting the better end of the trade. Don't let Tim and Steve Senior fool you with how quiet they are. Because we went on stag do, they were dancing up on tables, doing shots, pouring beer on the bed, or wild. Tim, Jean, Gail, and Steve Senior. I know you're proud of the children you've raised, sat on this table today, seeing them both up here today. You can see you're beaming with pride in everything that you've achieved, and you've done that with the help and helped them along the way. Now we are parents, we've got all the tears and tantrums to come our way. It takes a few years to get to this moment like this, that it's worth all of that. Everything you've told them, advice you've given, words of wisdom, expertise, it's all down to the reasons why they are here today. You've done them proud, and so you should be. When I first met Rachel, she was going to kill me. I always have a laugh and joke with Katie, my missus, but only us can know when we are always messing around. Rachel didn't know this, but she soon did, and now any given opportunity to wind me up, she will, and I'm happy she does. It's a good bond. I think all of us here can say how lovely Rachel looks today, and you are beautiful, and many hearts will be breaking knowing you've been taken off the singles list. With all the planning you've had to do and still get congratulated things in, you are remarkable. I know when I first met you that you make Steve happy, and I wasn't wrong. This isn't just about today, it's about all the times I've seen you with him. You both love each other so much, and it's a pleasure to see this. Rachel, you've had a tough job with Steve, and I'm glad that you're taking him out of our hands, and you can control it better than what we could. All jokes usually sway towards the groom, taken away from the lads. I I found out he can snuggle up on the sofa and his go-to chill movie is Love Actually, or one of the rom-com movies anyway. Katie said that she'd like to do the same as well. Just sat there with a drink in her hand. Me and Rachel were talking and we said we'd do the exactly the same, but we'd rather watch the Human Centipede. To which people got called weird. I tell this to stress more on the Diva Groomzilla approach he has. But to me, you're not taking Steve away from us. It's never been the case. You're joining us. I can only guess you've been the driving factor when it comes to planning this wedding, and it's perfect. All the hard work paid off, and I must say I'm honoured to be part of the only 5 minutes that you didn't plan for me. Since we've got to know each other more, the friendship from Steve has grown to you too. You both asked me and Katie to be godparents to Harley, and we asked you for the same for Jacoby. This is not just us returning the favour, this is the love we have for each other, and you mean the world to us. Rachel, remember this moment, for all the months of planning and stressing for this day is here. You're already maybe thinking it's already gone too fast, and it does, but you're stunning, beautiful, caring, an excellent wife, a wonderful mother, and stepmom. I hope the way you feel today lasts forever. Steve, I'm also honoured to be sharing a very special moment with you too. We'll never forget it at any time, and I hope I never will. And that moment was April 2nd, 2017, watching the Hardy Boys make their return from the WWE WrestleMania 33. Woo! You're a great parent, and you will be a great husband. If this friendship you gave us is only half of what Rachel, if the friendship that you've given us is only half, then Rachel is a lucky lady. Thanks for being there for me, and I've always been there for you too. You've given me advice on things and always been there for me for someone to lean on, and when I've got something on my mind, I can always rely on you, knowing you'll never push me aside or ignore me. You'll always find that the time to make with great friends, and it says a lot how good friends we are, as I'm here doing this today, but 2 years ago I was the groom and you was my best man. It's a credit to a 15+ relationship. I know you probably know this, but I want you to know that I will always be there for you, and no matter what happens in life, you guys can tell I think a lot about Steve. He's my best friend, and this is the best day of his life. I'm happy for him, because he is marrying the love of his life, and they are allowing us to all be sharing this special day. I couldn't be happier that they found their partner in life, and I know that for the two of you will be happy for years and years. You know you're not just friends to us, you're family. We all know that we're aunties and uncles to each other's kids. We just need to put an obvious standard to make the mission. We love you both. Now after this, we know that you're going away, so we just want to end up saying that we hope you have a really good time in Wales. I do think you are going to Wales, because she said that once the wedding was done that you were going to bang her for a week. It took me a while. But I did track down your old football coach, Steve, and he gave me a message to give to Rachel. Congratulations, Rachel, on marrying Steve. Hope you have a good night. The best advice I can give you is what I did. Put him in every position till he's good. If that doesn't work, pull him off. That's no sleep from me. I'm going to hand over back to Dave now. As he did at my wedding, he has flown over for a free meal. Don't believe that he's here for Steve. He's just here for a decent food. There's only so many cockroaches on a stick you can't. So this is me signing off. Could you all just oblige me and humour me for 1 second? It's like a mini game of Lee Sayers. It's like Simon Says, but my parents call me Lee. Please could the ladies, could you all please be upstanding? Come on.
Everybody. Ladies.
Sorry, can all the ladies be upstanding? And could you place your hands above your heads about 6 inches apart? And now, could the gents please stand up? I get it. And could you raise your hands above your head, but palms together? That's not 6 inches. Thank you. When I post that on Facebook later, it'll look like I've got a standing ovation from the speech. Please everyone, raise a glass. We had the stag do in Dublin, so everyone, I would like to end with an old Irish blessing. May your blessings outnumber the shamrocks that grow, may trouble avoid you wherever you go, and may your luck be the capital of our island, always Dublin. To Steve and Rachel, the bride and groom.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Actually, I think he's going to be right. Almost. Okay. All right, 20 more minutes, guys, and we'll be done. Okay, I thought I'd leave this bit to the end because I knew I might get emotional, so do forgive me. I can't run outside, that's why the door's open. What I've wanted to say to Steve, I have actually never said to him this before. I need to read these words right, sorry. I have loved you from the very start. I was wrong one, sorry. Sorry, it's a different wedding. Okay, so $50 fine. Okay, in those stories I shared about Steve and I growing up. What I found when I was looking back was actually it was Steve who's always pushed me as a person. He pushed me to play football, which I still do very badly twice a week in Singapore. He pushed me to get involved in trying to build my confidence up and got me involved into acting. He got me involved in my love of music by taking me to festivals. He got me to learn how to coach people, you know, through the young football teams that we stood, well, you coached, I was just stood in there freezing, swearing a lot. But also, you know, every single friend I have in this country and everybody in this room, I only know through Steve. I would not know any of you guys. I would not have been welcomed into Steve and Gail's family. I think, this does sound like my wedding, I'm marrying you, Steve, by the way. So this was my civil partnership speech when I had it a few years ago. But you know what, like Libby's like my sister to me, you know, and you are like my other mum and dad. That's how close I've been to you guys. And the thing with Steve is, even though I'm, you know, literally 10,000 miles away, you are there at every point in my life. You are there when I really need you the most, and you know, no matter the time zone or my hour of need, even if I ring you at 3 a.m. in the morning, you answer. You swear a lot, but you answer. And, you know, you help my need, whether the need is the fact that I'm slightly intoxicated and I don't know which shack I'm staying in or which village I need to go to or whatever. But you are there for me. And, you know, people, you know, when I travel and even here, people ask me a lot, who's the one that inspires you most in your life? Who's the one that motivates you the most? And it's my best friend, Steve. So I just want to say thank you for that, Steve. Now, to me, all of us, Steve is an incredible father. You know, he allowed me to be a godfather to Grayson. And I insist Grayson only calls me the godfather, not Uncle Bill. But Steve is a loving brother. He's a proud son, cousin, nephew. He's a loyal friend. He's our confidant for sure. He's definitely, God, he's groomzilla. He is groomzilla beyond belief. I had to bribe him with food just to talk about the wedding for 5 minutes. And he's now a very, very lucky husband to a very beautiful wife. Rachel, the impact I've seen you've made on Steve's life has been incredible. I've never seen him so happy. The love you have for Steve's family and friends is remarkable. And it's something I personally wish for in a partner. It's on my Tinder profile. You are absolutely a remarkable mother to 2 beautiful children, and you're the only one I know who can actually put up with all those bloody comic books and dolls that he has in his house. But he adores you, he really adores you, and I can see why. Now, before we close, and you'll be pleased that we're closing, it's going to be dessert, we actually want to read you a passage, because apparently that's what's normally done, is a full passage is read at the end. So I'm just going to quickly pass this to Lee, and basically this passage is what we found together that symbolises Steve and Rachel.
I didn't fall in love with you, I walked into love with you. With eyes wide open, choosing to take every step along the way. I do believe in fate and destiny, but I also believe we are only fated to do the things that we choose anyway. And I choose you. In 100 lifetimes, in 100 worlds, in any version of reality, I'd find you and I'd choose you.
Now, this isn't from some big historical text. This isn't from a philosopher or a poet. And you've seen today, it's all around Joker and Harley. And this is actually from one of their books called Mad Love. And it's a conversation between the Joker and Harley. And I think that sums up these two guys very much. So, may I ask you to please stand, raise your glasses, and raise your glasses
to our Joker and Harley,
to your Stephen and Rachel, and to everyone's bride and groom.